What's practice out there today?
It's great. It was a great day to practice. I mean, with the cold weather that we've had, it's sun out, above 30 degrees. Couldn't ask for a better day to practice.
How'd Tom look out there?
Great.
Did you have any more snaps than usual today?
I don't know, define what is usual. I mean, since I've been here, there's been days where I've taken a lot of reps. There's been days where I haven't taken any. So I just do, what's asked of me. So however many amount of reps that is, whether it's just the scout team, whether it's a few plays on offense, it's, whatever they tell me to do.
Well, because of Tom's hand injury and limited in practice, we would think that you would take more snaps to help the team.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what would be more. Some days is more, some days is less. It's just a matter of what day it is, really.
Was today more today than say last
I don't know. You have to check the injury report. I don't know if they put that on there or not.
Brian, can you talk about just the nature of a backup quarterback, the mindset of being ready at any moment in any game? Mm-hmm. How are you feeling right now about this week?
I mean, look, I prepare every week like I'm going to play. Whether I do or don't, that's not really up to me. So I think the one thing that I can benefit from is since I was here as the backup last time, I've played a lot of football. So I've been the starter in 3 different teams. I know how to prepare as a starter, and whether I'm getting those reps or not, each rep that I'm not getting, I'm taking as a mental rep. I stand back there and I go through and I try to think, where would I go with football on this? Who would I make the mic on this play? So whether I'm getting the reps or not, I'm always preparing to play, because the truth of reality is you never know when your name's going to be called. So I think if anything, having been the backup, having been a starter, now being in the backup role, I know how to prepare like I'm going to play, and if I don't play, then that's good for our team. If I do, then I'm ready to go.
Did you see how Tom injured his hand?
I wasn't there.
Have you ever jammed your hand through the whole course of you playing in your career?
I'm sure it's happened before.
Tom Brady, has he shown to be a pretty tough player over the years?
And to my knowledge, yeah.
Brian, as you mentioned before, you were here before, so this is familiar to you. Playoff time, things change around here, but is it still the same as when you were here before and you were in the playoffs?
Oh man, I mean that was so long ago, 5 years ago. I think the one thing that I see and the one thing I notice is everybody is going and doing what has got us here, and for me that's only been half of a season, but I fell right back in line pretty quick on how to prepare, prepare for any scenario, any situation, get a lot of looks at what their defense is trying to do, and just never leave any stone unturned, and I think that's the one thing that I appreciate a lot about this place is you're going to be prepared when you go into that game on Sunday, and the coaches make sure of it, the players make sure of it, of each other. They hold each other accountable, and that's something to appreciate.
What is your pregame routine like? We've seen Tom get here 5, 6, 7 hours before. You've walked in with him on another occasion. What are you guys actually doing prior to kickoff?
Just whatever you want to do. I mean, the one day I was just getting a ride from here because I don't have a car yet. So, no, for me, it just depends. Do we have a meeting? Do we not have a meeting? My routine doesn't really start until about 3 hours from kickoff, and then I kind of have a routine of doing certain things to prepare myself for the game, physical things, mental things, go out and throw a little bit, see what the wind is like, make sure you know where the 25-second clocks are. So, that routine prior up to that 3 hours, really, it kind of just depends on what the schedule is.
Brian, do you play with a glove on your hand?
My left hand, yeah.
You do it on your left?
Yeah.
Watching Brady play with gloves on his hand,
that's how I started. I mean, I never had done it before. And then when I got up here, he always said, when it gets cold and dry out, it's nice to have a little extra tack. So I've experimented with putting on a throwing hand too, and it's just a matter of feel, how you feel with it, and it's always good to practice with it in case you might need it. You never know what the weather's going to be.
And did Brady seem comfortable? You were working with him today. How is he feeling with those
gloves?
gloves?
You have to ask him that. Yeah.
Do you feel like you know that playbook as well as anybody on this team, including Tom?
I mean, I'm always trying to get that down. It's a week-to-week basis, and I think the one good thing for me coming back in the middle of the season is I had a base knowledge of the system, and have just tried to pick up every week after that. And what we run this week may be totally different from what we ran last week. So it's kind of a week-to-week basis. And like I said, having been a starting quarterback before, I think I have a good idea of how to prepare, whether I get the reps or not.
Brian, do you feel like that familiarity with the system has helped you develop trust?
What's that?
Do you feel like the familiarity with the system has helped you establish trust with some of the receivers and running backs during
I think
the time here?
the one thing here is you're going to go out to practice and everybody's going to give it their all. Everyone's going to practice hard. So it's not a big deal about getting timing and things like that because when you go and you get a chance to go with those guys, you know exactly how they're going to do it if you're with them in a game.
Did,
Brian, how
did
much
Tom throw any today?
I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody else that question. I'm not going to answer.
Brian,
How would you describe Tom? Your space.
I'm not going to speak for him. So.
About the Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jaguars. I mean, thanks, Mike. They're a great defense. I've played against these guys 4 times in the last 3 years, and each year they seem to get a little bit better. Whether it's a big free agent signing like Calais Campbell, a high draft pick, Jalen Ramsey got to play against him last year. Obviously, a very talented corner. I know Bouye from when I was with him in Houston, Gibson when I played in Cleveland. So, I have a familiarity with these guys, and you watch them on tape this year. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They have a good scheme, and they play it well. So I think that's the one thing that is going to be a challenge for us is handling, what they're going to throw at us. They have a good front, so they can get a lot of pass rush without having a lot of pressure. And they play their scheme well, and they're playing really confident right now.
Guys, let's take 2 more and that's it. Seattle. And
I think there's, it's funny when we talk about scheme, even though there might be a base scheme, everybody kind of branches off. So I think you can see parts of it there, but there's also things that they do that, having played Seattle this year, some things that Seattle doesn't do. So I think, it's from that family tree, but I think there's some elements of different things being put to work in there by Coach Wash.
Brian,
One more.
All right, thanks, guys.